Hello everybody, my name is Drew Comica, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a sketch. It's kind of one I've been playing around with for near enough entirely the day, and I posted a little bit on the Ruby Amino and on my Facebook page on No Talent Cafe. And there's actually this, I'm a huge fan of Ruby and Camp. Don't get me started on Ruby Season 5. I'm going to leave that for a later day. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a sketch. And basically the idea behind it is what happens when you combine the two universes. And in the Ruby universe, Camp characters turn out as... one moment. As huntsmen. So... my idea is that what happens if the characters in Camp are actually in the Ruby universe. And as you can see, I've done a little bit of a sketch here. And as you can see, it is a very interesting dynamic I'm going for. So I'm just trying out this new idea, and I'm going to do this speed draw. So I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm going to speed up some of the process so that you won't be bored with with how long it takes for me to draw this thing. So I'm going to get started here, and any questions or things, just wait till the end of the video. So I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on this sketch just while the speed draw is going on here. And I thought I might as well do like a little bit more information or details on the background. So with Max here, I imagine him to be from the Kingdom of Vale, and maybe in some way be connected to David and Gwen at the Camp, because of course in this universe it might be a bit different to what it actually is in the Camp series. And my idea is that maybe Max was abandoned, or his parents left him with David and Gwen, maybe even to train him up in basically getting him to think outside the box, to get to know nature a little bit more. And who knows, maybe through this Max actually begrudgingly, I'm not saying this for sure, begrudgingly decided he wants to become a huntsman so that he can probably take over David's place at the camp, because David, even though he was a very grumpy kid, he wanted to maybe help out a little bit more, and maybe one day, like I said before, take over the camp and get kids to experience like camping safely, but without like the fear of being attacked by Grim. And I'm guessing like the type of school he would go to out of before, you've got I think is it Shade and Baculo, and then you've got Atlas, then Haven and Minstrel, but he'll probably mainly go to the one in Vale, which is Beacon Academy. And he's going to be in charge of, well, eventually become team leader of Team Moon. And so that's going to consist of himself, Nikki, Neil, of course, and I'm not really going to elaborate too much on who the last member of Team Moon is, because there's a couple of people that have the letter N, so I thought it might be a wee bit fun for people to actually guess what that is. So, type of weapons, I think he'll have, like, knives, sort of like, I said Swiss knife, but I haven't really elaborated much on what that could be. Now, that could be, like, I'm trying to think, because it could shoot dust a wee bit like Fennec, and I'm trying to think of your other guy's name in Season 5, but I think it would be much more interesting if it also shot bullets, so I kind of gave it like a sort of Swiss Army knife look. Of course, it doesn't have any of the ridges at the end, and maybe he could use it as sort of like maybe use it as a bit of fire, or maybe he can change like between. Of course, everything can also be a gun, except for Jean's weapon. It can also be like a little bit between hand pistols, or maybe even just stay as nice and use dust, which I think would be a very interesting thing to use. So a bit similar to Ren's weapons, maybe, but I think it's just going to look a little bit more something that you kind of use on the fly, like if you're out in the wilderness in the wild, pretty much like David would kind of train him a little bit, and he kind of like took some of the things that David taught him and integrated into his fighting routine. fighting style I haven't really thought much about yet, and so yeah, I might also do some stuff with David and Gwen as huntsmen and huntresses and the universe as well, so I might even have fun with that in a later date with more details. I think like Max would be pretty hardcore as a leader. He'd be like, what are you looking at, asshole? Or he wouldn't really give a shit about what's going on and everything. I think he'd make a very cool leader. Of course, like if certain things does like get in his way, he's gonna like find a way around it, or maybe even find a way to get out of it. Because you kind of see in Cam that he does have the knowledge. If he knows something, then he can use it to his advantage. Like when he tried to blackmail Gwen, or when he said that he knew like most of the things to get out of Cam, or even with the most escape attempts. I think that kind of probably makes him more qualified to be a leader, like say Neil or Nikki. But yeah, I think that would be a very interesting thing to look into. Semblance-wise, that's more of a tricky thing to think about, because there's a couple of things that he could use for his semblance. Like, for example, you might have noticed in the sketch there, I had explosions with a question mark, and I was thinking, yeah, that would kind of be interesting, but at the same time, like, I was thinking more on Katsuki from, no wait, is that his name? Katsuki? It's been a while since I read My Hero Academia. With Bakugo from My Hero Academia, where he kind of uses, well, I wouldn't really say nitroglycerin or anything, but sort of like explosions. But then I really thought about it, and I was originally thinking about an OC who had this ability, sort of like null and void. So it's basically nullifying another person's semblance, or kind of making it mute, and then kind of getting in there and beating the crap out of people, or because then they'd be on the same playing field. I always like characters that aren't overpowered, that don't seem to be overpowered, and can actually force someone to fight on their level. Because he always seems to be a wee bit like that, like a little bit of a scrapper. Like, you get someone down in his level, or he's trying to bring someone down. Like, you can see with David, he's trying to break his spirit, and like at the end of spoiler alert, at the end of season 1, he's trying to break his spirit down and get him onto his level and get him not to care. But here's the thing, David actually said to him, look, you're gonna tell me that I don't care. I know people don't give a shit or don't care, but I'm going to have to do it because no one else is going to do it. And so I think this basically with kind of does, like I said, integrates a little bit into Max's personality. So then he's a little bit like okay, so I'm gonna use my semblance now, and you're gonna come down to my level, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you because someone else has to. Because if they're a complete asshole, then he's gonna want to like take them down a peg or something, and that would be like a really interesting like semblance ability. And yeah, I think that would be really cool, actually. I think that would be a cool semblance. So, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for null and void is what I'm calling the semblance. And it's just basically nullifying someone else's ability, so then they don't have this overpowered abilities and he can take them on. So yeah, that's basically my 2 cents on what it would be like if Max was in the RWBY universe. I'm not sure if I would do a video like this again, but I'm inspired to do like the other members of Team Moon and maybe the rest of the cast of Camp. Now whether this becomes like a regular thing, or if I even like put in a little bit more detail on what I think would happen at certain points in the show if this group was in there, that's really up to debate. But I hope everyone enjoys this video and have a lovely day. Any questions or anything, leave them in the comments, and if you like this video, please subscribe and even like get in touch with me, or even like give me like a few on your opinions on what would be really cool if these characters were in RWBY, or if you want me to do the opposite where I'm drawing characters